Okay. So let's muddle the water a little bit and start from where we had left in the last class. If anybody feels sleepy, let me know. I mean, if I make anybody feels sleepy, please feel free to let me know. Those who are. Now the question is, what did we do in the last class? We talked about polynomial remainder theorem, and we did not get to practice enough. So that's what I have in the agenda today. And what I have done is I have bombarded the group with a lot of interesting word problems relating to that concept that we learned in the last class, so that we are able to practice them back and make ourselves a little more confident with that. Just give us. Okay, not a problem. I will repeat myself. Don't worry about it. So just alright. So in the last class we talked about polynomial remainder theorem. What this theorem says is it gives us a way to find out the remainder from a polynomial long division. It's an interesting and what do you call simpler technique to arrive at the remainder from a polynomial long division. Okay. Now, before I get started, Surbi, you were not there in the last class, right? You were not there as well. Anand, you were there, but I know I injected a lot of confusion when we met last time. Correct? Okay. Shikhar, how comfortable you are with respect to what we talked about in the last class with respect to polynomial remainder theorem? You got it? How about Ashika? Comfortable? Okay, but that is fine. So again, my only promise to you guys is that I will make myself as boring, as repetitive as possible, to a point that everybody understands that. Okay? So let's say if Shikhar says that I understood everything, and Ansika says that I would want to understand a little bit more, and Surbi says I was not there in the class, I would not move on to the next topic till I bring Surbi, Devans, Ansika, Anand, everybody on the same page. Okay? Shikhar might think that okay, this teacher is not intelligent, what to do. That's okay. We'll manage. We'll manage how to deal with an unintelligent teacher. Okay? So we have Thanu also in the class now. So we have Aranya, Ansika, Devan, Visali, Shikhar, Surbi, Thanu, and Ansika. Wonderful. Let's get started. I will probably break it down, or I will probably start with a different narrative. Okay? Simple thing. If I say my pencil is quite colorful today. Okay. If I say divide x squared minus 16 by x plus 4, will be fairly straightforward for you guys. You will say this is a squared minus b squared, so this becomes x squared minus 4 squared. 16 is nothing but 4 squared, and they can divide that by x plus 4. Anand, keep stopping me if I am not making sense anywhere. Okay? Just an open offer to everybody. If I am not making sense, please feel free to stop me. So we are trying to divide x square minus 16 by x plus 4. When we see this one, this 16 is nothing but 4 square. So this becomes a square minus b square form. And from the algebraic identity we know that if I have a square minus b square, I can factorize this as a minus b times a plus b. So this x square minus 4 square, if x is a and 4 is b, I can break this into x plus a plus b, that is 8x plus 4 times a minus b, that is x minus 4 divided by x plus 4. And we see that okay, I have common factor here and here which can knock off each other. My solution is this one. Meaning when I divided this guy by this guy, my answer is this, and there is nothing remaining. But not all the time you will be able to factorize perfectly and get an answer. There are times when you are dividing a number or an expression by something. Let's see if I am dividing 17 by 4. What do I get? 4 times 4 is 16. 1 is remainder. There is nothing that I am able to do here. Okay? Similarly, let's say if I am trying to divide x squared plus 4x plus 5 by x plus 2. What happens is, this one I can break into x squared plus 4x plus 4 plus 1 divided by x plus 2. And I am probably trying to flex my skills here, okay? Saying, see how quickly I can do calculation. That is not the thing. I am just trying to tell you guys that when you are dividing this by this, this will be divided, this can be divided by this, but this guy is not getting divided by this perfectly. So you have some remainder. So the polynomial remainder theorem helps you find out what will be the remainder when you are dividing one polynomial by another polynomial very quickly without doing so much of calculation. This works more like a silver bullet. Okay? Are you okay with the speech I have given so far? Anand?
20 minutes I was so good.
I'm sorry, what?
20 minutes I was so good.
No.
What do you mean it's like a silver bullet?
Silver bullet meaning a very quick solution. Silver bullet is like a magic wand.
Oh.
That gives you a solution there and there without stretching your neurons.
Okay.
Yeah? So silver bullet is a proverb that you can use, or an idiom probably. So silver bullet is nothing but a magical solution. Alright. So are you guys okay with whatever I have said so far? Survi, Ananya, Ansika, Devans, Tanu? Okay. So forget everything. Let's start from scratch. What is that we are trying to achieve? We are trying to divide one polynomial by another polynomial. I am trying to divide a polynomial x squared plus 4x minus 19 by x minus 2. This is my polynomial. I am trying to divide by this guy. And there will be a lot of calculation that will happen behind the scene. I don't want to do that. I am being lazy, super lazy right now. Because I have learned a theorem called polynomial remainder theorem, which tells me that if I divide this guy by this guy, what will be my remainder? What will be my remainder? Aside from remainder. My goal is to find out when I am dividing this polynomial by this polynomial, do I have a remainder and how much is that? I can calculate and find it out, but this polynomial remainder theorem gives me a quick solution which says if you have a polynomial p of x as something, whatever it be, here my polynomial is this. And if I am trying to divide this polynomial by x minus a, here my a is 2. Then my remainder would be equal to f of a. Without doing any calculation, it says if you have a polynomial if you are dividing that by x minus a, their remainder would be equal to f of a, meaning evaluated value of the function for whatever you are subtracting from a. So now you look at this one. This is my polynomial. I am trying to divide that by x minus 2. When I compare it with this theorem, my a value is nothing but 2 because I am dividing by x minus a. Here instead of a I have a 2. So my remainder will be equal to f of 2. What will be f of 2? Let's look at this one. If this is my polynomial function, what is f of 2? I will put 2 square plus 4 into 2 plus 19. So my remainder would be 2 square is 4 plus 4 times 2 is 8. So 4 plus 8 12 plus 19 31. My remainder would be this much. Surabhi, Devans, did I make sense to you guys? Because you were not in the last class. So I'm just telling you that this is what the polynomial remainder theorem says. That if you have a polynomial function like this, you are trying to divide that by something. This polynomial remainder theorem says that this is your polynomial. If you are trying to divide that by x minus a, here you have to just compare your polynomial with which you are trying to divide and look at what is your a value. If you evaluate your polynomial for that a, that will be a remainder. Does it sound okay, everybody? Anand, am I making little more sense than last time? Okay. Now let's. So now Surabhi and Devans, I put you guys on the spot today because I'm just trying to make sure that whatever I'm saying now is making sense. Now, polynomial remainder theorem said this, that if I am trying to divide this guy by this guy, I look at what is my x minus a, meaning what is the a value, and I evaluated this one for that, that will be my remainder. Let's check it also. Let's not blindly trust any teacher for that matter. So my remainder is 31. This is what we got from the polynomial remainder theorem. Let's keep it in this order. Now let's try dividing it and see if this is the case. So you guys will see me do polynomial long division. Basic of division, right? You guys all know what is division. So we are trying to do polynomial long division, meaning we are trying to divide x squared plus 4x plus 19 by x minus 2. And how does the polynomial long division work? You look at knocking off the highest power of the variable and keep going down. So here, our first objective is to knock off this x squared. How do I get x squared? By multiplying this guy with x. So I will say, okay, first multiplication is x. If I do x times x minus 2, I am getting x squared minus 2x. Now let's subtract. So these two get knocked off. Yeah. And then 4x plus 2x becomes 6x. And this guy slides down, 90. Now, our goal is to knock off the next term, which is having x. And how do I knock off that? By multiplying this guy with 6. That will give me 6x. So plus 6. What happens? This became 6x minus 6 times 2 is 12. Now, we are getting there. Minus and this becomes plus. These two guys get cancelled out. What do you have now? 19 plus 12, 31. And there is nothing sliding down. So this is where we are. Now we cannot divide it any further. So this is my remainder. See, this is what the polynomial remainder theorem told us. So this polynomial remainder theorem is trustworthy, it seems. We divided it and we got the same remainder for this problem. We first applied the polynomial remainder theorem to derive or arrive at the remainder, and we took a longer route to validate whether this theorem holds water or not. And we saw that yes. Now we can rely on this theorem. At least we have seen one proof. Surbi, Divans, Tanu, Isali, am I making sense to everybody? Ananya, yes, Ansika. Yeah, exactly. In fact, see, again, don't go by my words. Math is a playground. More you guys play, more comfortable you'll get. Let's check that. Meaning, from this if you subtract 31, meaning x squared plus 4x plus 19 minus 31. This is what you want to do. So that makes your polynomial as x squared plus 4x minus 12. Yeah? Let's try dividing that by x minus 2 and see what happens. Same strategy, polynomial long division. What do I multiply this guy to get x squared? Obviously x. So this becomes x squared minus 2x. Minus this becomes plus, these two don't. This becomes 6x minus 12. Multiply this by 6, that's how you can knock off 6x, right? So plus 6. So this became 6x minus 6 to the 12. Minus plus. Gone. Plus 12 and minus 12 gone. Yeah. Are you guys liking this game? See again, this is the only subject which doesn't need a laboratory to prove something. If you are doing physics or chemistry, obviously science is science, you can always prove it. But then you would need a much bigger setup, a very costly laboratory for doing the research to ascertain the concept. Let's say you have to prove Newton's third law. You need a lot of equipment for measuring the accuracy of that. Math doesn't need that kind of setup. You just need a pen and paper to prove everything that you want to prove. Or that is technically possible. Yeah? Are you guys with me so far? Tanu, Sundara? So, Surbi, are you okay with it so far? Okay, wonderful. So, there are two things that we talked about, or two things that we saw. One was the polynomial long division. That was just an outcome from the attempt that we were making to validate the polynomial remainder theorem. And polynomial remainder theorem just tells us that, okay, do I have a remainder when I am dividing one polynomial by another polynomial without doing a lot of fancy calculation? Imagine, let me try scaring you guys into it. Let's say you have to divide x to the power 21 minus x to the power 8 plus 47x squared plus 91 by x plus 7. And you have to find out, is it perfectly divisible or I have to make? Before you try factorizing it, you're trying to figure out that is it something that I can factorize? Meaning, do I have any remainder or not when I'm dividing by this guy? You will not do any fancy calculation, you will say, okay, fine. It is saying, okay, x to the 21, you would need a calculator. I prescribe not to use calculator, but here you don't have choice. But here you will say, okay, fine. What does polynomial remainder theorem say? If I am dividing this polynomial by this, meaning x minus a, what is my a here? My a is nothing but minus 7. That is how x minus a becomes x plus 7. So my remainder would be equal to f of minus 7. Meaning, if I plug in minus 7 in place of every x that I have in the polynomial, whatever value I get from here If this value is 0, then this is perfectly divisible by this guy. If this value is anything but 0, then we have a remainder. And you can use calculator for finding out this value. But without doing any fancy calculation, just by knowing about one theorem, we are able to figure out if something can be factorized or not. You will not deal with this kind of problem. Let's say you have to solve a quadratic equation. Let's look at a more realistic problem. Let's say you have to solve a quadratic equation. You are trying to factorize a quadratic expression. Let's say x square plus 19x minus 69. Okay? And you are trying to divide that by x plus 2. Or let me put a negative here so that there is no confusion here. X minus 3. I am trying to find out that if I can factorize this in a way that I have x minus 3 as one of the factors. What I will do is I will first find out that okay, when I divide this guy with this guy, will I get a remainder or not? Let's see this. What does polynomial remainder theorem say? That when I am dividing a polynomial by x minus a, my remainder would be equal to f of a. So what is a here? Oh, a is 3. That is our x minus 3. So a is 3. This will be equal to f of 3. Let's plug in this value of 3 here. So this 3 is 3 squared plus 19 into 3 minus 69. 3 squared is 9. 9 3 are 27 minus 69. So my remainder is 29 plus 7 is 36 minus 69, which is minus 33. Oh, there is no way I can factorize this. I'll have it later. Or you will say this. Okay, I'm not factorizing it right now. I just got an answer to my question that okay, I cannot factorize this. There is no perfect factorization that we can do here. We'll have it later. This is the clue that it gives us. So whenever you are dealing with a quadratic equation, also if you are very familiar with this one, you will make a quick judgment by looking at this one. This will take you 30 seconds to determine whether it's worth the effort to factorize it or not. Does it sound okay? Yeah? Hope and wish are two scary words that we will bury in this class by going through the concept again. That's the whole thing. I'm not discouraging you guys from using this word, but I'm saying if that word comes, we will handle it together. Tanu, are you with us so far? Tanu, Vasundhara, Devans, Visali. Devans, what happened to your video graph? You are keeping your video off. Visali, should be. What is happening to your video for everybody else? Keep your videos on, right? So that you're. Okay, third one. Okay. Okay, that is. But I mean, see again, what is the motivation for me to ask you for turning your video on? Because when I look at your expression, that tells me a lot of things. If I see a confident face, that makes me feel like a proud teacher. If I see a very scratchy face, that makes me believe that I'm doing a horrible job. Okay? Alright. So, we saw what is polynomial remainder theorem, and we saw what could be the potential use of it. More you use this theorem, more you make yourself comfortable, you would find a lot of utility of this theorem for saving time while you're dealing with quadratic equations or expressions. Yeah? Okay, so now, no more speech. Let's look at some problems and see if they are actually problems or not. So let me pick up the question that I took up for you guys. So Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Something happened. What keeps happening here? Okay. So let me find out the question for you guys. Okay. Let me read the question and see how you guys are digesting this word. So Sanjita, you got a little too late. So Sanjita, you were there in the last class, right? When we talked about polynomial remainder theorem. Yes, Sanjita, go ahead. Okay. Now, so I noticed you just now. So that's why I keep asking kids to keep the video on, keep reacting to my questions so that I would not ask stupid questions. Okay, the first problem that I want you guys to look at is we have a polynomial P of x equals x cubed minus 4x squared plus kx minus 8. I'm writing it down here. And I would want to see how you guys are reacting to this problem. Come on. This guy is wasting a bit of time. Okay. Okay, so this one says that we have a polynomial P of x equals x cubed minus 4x squared plus kx minus 8 is divided by x minus 2. The remainder is 6. This is the remainder. Find the value of k. Now you are seeing the actual problem. This is a polynomial x cubed minus 4x squared plus k times x minus 8 is divided by x minus 2 and the remainder is 6. You have to find out the value of k. Let's see how you guys are dealing with this. And the only clue I can give you guys is you can use the polynomial remainder theorem. Because it's giving a polynomial and it's giving a remainder also. Put the both together, that's your clue. Polynomial remainder theorem you can use. What is going in your mind right now? I am seeing that you are kind of grappling with yourself. That's why I'm asking. What is going in your mind right now?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? You have all the ideas that you need.
Just calculate.
Okay, I'll come to you. Sanjita, tell me. What did you get? So this is the polynomial P of x, which is equal to x cubed minus 4x squared plus k times x minus 8. That is divided by x minus 2. And the remainder is 6. The question is, what is the value of k? All of you who have gotten a good grasp of the polynomial remainder theorem, you would find it fun. If you are struggling, that means I didn't do a good job. Let's see what Divan's got. K is equal to 11. Okay. So let's see how accurate Divan is. How about Srikhar, Anand? Give it a try, okay? Don't be shy. Okay, yes, Vasundhara, what did you get? Okay, wonderful. So, see, I change my narrative when I'm dealing with different levels of the kids. When I'm dealing with level 1 kids, meaning the kids from 3rd to 5th grade or even younger to them, I tell them, give it a try, don't cry. For you guys, that is different. Give it a try, don't be shy. Okay, give it a try. Srikar, how about you? How far are you? Still working on it? Srikar, I'm not able to hear you. You're saying something? Oops. How about Samyuta? Yeah, go ahead. K equals 8. I love that. I have two answers to choose from. Yeah, I can hear you now. You got how much? You also got 11. How about Survi? 11. Ansika? Disali?
Also
11. Okay. So we have two answers that we are contemplating between. K equals 8 and K equals 10. Let's start with that.
18. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. That is part of the learning, okay? Whichever problem, I mean, whenever we solve a problem, it's always a good idea to review our own work. So if you're taking 20 seconds more to review your work, then there's no harm in that because you gave 11. Everybody has given 11. I had one answer is 8. So I was just saying that I have two options to choose from. And I don't go with any bias, right? So no matter whether your answers match or not match, I will still solve it. Tanu, how do you do? You also got 8. Okay, so I still have two options here. Alright, so let me do it. Ananya, how about you? Ananya, are you still working on it? Or Anand? Okay. How about Anand? Are you close or are you trying to figure it out? Okay. So now let me do that in the lamest possible way. Okay. I mean, I don't know if lamest is a word in the vocabulary or not. I'm just putting it out. Okay. So I have a polynomial which is divided by this, and this is the remainder that is given to me. So by reading the question itself, the only clue that is coming to my mind is, oh, is it something related to polynomial remainder theorem? Let's check it out. What does polynomial remainder theorem say? That okay, if you have a polynomial, if you divide by x minus a, then the remainder would be equal to f of a or p of a in this case. So this is my polynomial. If I am dividing this by x minus a, here my a is 2, then my remainder would be equal to p of 2. So let's see what my remainder would be. P of 2, what is p of 2 here? P of 2 would be 2q, every x value I replace with a 2, minus 4 into 2 square, plus k into 2 minus 8. This is my remainder. As per the polynomial remainder theorem, if I am dividing this polynomial by this polynomial, which is x minus a, then my remainder would be p of a. P of a, which is 2, we got this much. And we are given this value as 6. So that means 2 cube, that is 8, minus 4 into 2 square. 2 square is 4 times 4 is 16, plus k times 2 minus 8 is given as 6. Now we are just simplifying it. So 8 minus 8 cancels out. Minus 16 plus 2k equal to 6. So if I am keeping only 2 into k this side, moving this guy to the other side, it becomes plus 16, which is 2k equals 16 plus 6, that is 22. K equals 22 by 2, which gives me 11. Does it make sense? Yeah. So again, this calculation is easier part. Okay. this is not where our energy should go. Our energy should go always into my copyright that I keep insisting on. The RAM method. When you're reading the question, see, if let's say you forget about the polynomial remainder theorem, you should read the question a couple of times. This is the polynomial, I'm dividing by this is my remainder. This is my polynomial, I'm dividing by this is my remainder. Polynomial dividing by this remainder. 2-3 times when you read it to yourself, this might ring the bell if you have ever come across polynomial remainder theorem. Oh, does it have something to do with polynomial remainder theorem? And what does polynomial remainder theorem do? This says you are dividing this by x minus a, this will be p of a or f of a. So here my a is 2. Plug the value of 2 here and that is given as 6. You have everything in your hand. Yeah. This is very, very important. That's why in every class of mine, you must have seen me reading the question so many times. Because I am a big believer of the fact that if I read the question a couple of times, let's say if I am reading the question for the first time, it might look easy or difficult. When I am reading the same question second time, it looks 10% easier. If I am reading 4 more times, it becomes half difficult actually. Try with some of the problems which are difficult. Okay? If you read the question a couple of times, it will start making a little more sense to you guys. That's what I have seen for myself, and I'm sure I'm not coming from a different background. Okay? Alright, let's go to the next problem. Are you guys okay so far? Ananya, Tanu, Visali, everybody? Vasundhara? Alright, let's go to the next problem. The next problem says, this is quite verbose, okay? So this might bother you guys a little bit if you don't pay attention to it. I'm reading it carefully, okay? A polynomial p of x leaves a remainder of 3. Remainder of come on. Three. Okay. A polynomial p of x leaves a remainder of 3 when divided by x minus 1. When you are dividing this polynomial by 3, you are when you are dividing a polynomial by x minus 1, your remainder is 3. Let me write this in the same sequence. When you are dividing it by x minus 1, your remainder is 3. And a remainder of 5 when divided by x plus 1. This seems to be an interesting one. Okay? Find the remainder when the polynomial is divided by x minus 1 and Okay, so here's the thing. It says when you are dividing a polynomial by x minus 1, the remainder is 3. When you are dividing the same polynomial by x plus 1, the remainder is 5. It is saying find out the remainder when you are dividing by x minus 1 times x plus 1. This will make you guys scratch your head a little bit. But this will become easy when you start doing the scratch work. So don't scratch here, scratch on the board. You'll find that work. Okay? Did everybody hear the question? It's simple. These are polynomial. I don't know what the polynomial is. There is no expression given here. The polynomial when divided by x minus 1, the remainder is 3. When the same polynomial is divided by x plus 1, the remainder is 5. We are being asked to find out what will be the remainder when we divide the same polynomial by x minus 1 times x plus 1. Let's see. Everybody heard the question, right? Are you ready to give it a try? Do it. Yes, Devas. So you can read what is there on the board, right? Yeah. So the first line says there is a polynomial When you divide that by x minus 1, the remainder is 3. When you divide the same polynomial by x plus 1, the remainder is 5. What will be the remainder when you divide the same polynomial by x minus 1 times x plus 1? And I am giving you guys few minutes to solve it. Few minutes as in 3 to 4 minutes. Let's see how you guys are beginning to try. Yes, Sundara, what did you get? Yes, Sundara, go ahead. Sundara, I'm here. I cannot hear you. Yeah, Sundara, your voice is not coming through. Much. 4 minus x, okay. So I see Vasundhara from 2 devices. Okay. I'll come to Vasundhara to understand how did she get that, but in the meantime, I would let everybody give it a try. What's happening? Anshika, Divans, Disali, Samrita, Shikhar. Yes, Divans, what did you get? Okay, that's okay. We have Vasundhara helping all of us, okay? I am equally confused right now. Not this case. I will leverage my kids wherever I can. And if there's something for me to chime in, I will try to do that. Okay. How about Ansika? Okay. So our best hope right now is Vasundhara. And of course the teacher will be held hostage for this. Yes, Srikanth, what did you get? The question is simple. I have a polynomial which we don't know what exactly it is. We don't have the expression given for the polynomial. The question says if I divide the polynomial by x minus 1, the remainder is 3. When we divide the same polynomial by x plus 1, the remainder is 5. The question is, what will be the remainder when we are dividing the same polynomial by x minus 1 times x plus 1? Okay? Alright. So I'm going to give maximum 2 more minutes, okay? So that we'll have few minutes for Vasundhara to explain this to us, and then I will chime in with my findings based on whatever is relevant for you guys. Okay? Okay. Have you guys exhausted your ideas so far? Ram, what is your status right now? Okay. Still no clue? Figuring it out. Okay. Considering the time we have at hand, maybe I'll give one more minute, and then I will probably get started. Is that okay for everybody? All right. Fine. I think I'm super excited to hear from Vasundhara. What is that she did to get to the solution? So Vasundhara, do you want to explain your approach? Okay. Let's see what Divan's got. Yeah, Divan's. I don't know that yet, and if there is a solution that evolved from that, I will certainly be wanting to explore that. So Sundra, what I will do is, based on whatever you said, I will just keep scratching on the other screen, okay, so that everybody follows that discussion, okay. So, and you can take me if I'm doing wrong anywhere. So what this one says is, this is a polynomial. When it is divided by x minus 1, the remainder is 3. So let's say this is my polynomial, which is divided by this guy. So meaning, let's say this polynomial divided by x minus 1 is certainly something about k times x minus 1, right? Plus 3 by x minus 1. Correct? That's how I will look at it, right? That when I am dividing this polynomial by x minus 1, it is k times x minus 1. So this part is the absolute answer, and this is the remainder piece of it. Correct? So from the first remainder finding, it is coming as polynomial divided by x minus 1 is equal to k times x minus 1 plus 3 by x minus 1. Is this okay so far, Vasundhara? Am I going the right path? Okay. Now, the second part of the problem says, if I am dividing this by x plus 1, so meaning p of, this is my polynomial, I don't know what is the expression for that, divided by x plus 1 is equal to k times x plus 1, because this is not k this time, maybe this is L, some coefficient, right? So when I am dividing this by x plus 1, I am getting some answer plus the remainder, which is 5 divided by x plus 1. Correct? I am saying that this is my polynomial when I am dividing by x plus 1, I get some answer times x plus 1 plus 5 by x plus 1. So this is my remainder which I could not divide. This is my remainder which I could not divide. Correct? Are you guys with me so far? Now, from this one, what happens? P of x, the polynomial is equal to, this goes to this side, equals k times x minus 1 square plus 3 times x minus 1 gets multiplied both sides, it becomes plus 3. Similarly, from this guy, what I am seeing is p of x is equal to k times x plus 1 square plus 3 plus 5. Yeah? Is that sounding okay? Now the question is, what is my remainder when I am dividing this by x minus 1 times x plus 1? Meaning, I am trying to find out when I am doing this by x minus 1 times x plus 1, what is the constant thing I am finding plus the remainder. I will be interested only in the remainder part of it. So now, let's first do what we have at hand. So p of x, from the first remainder part, I am getting k times x minus 1 square plus 3, and from second this is not k, this is L, times x plus 1 square plus 5. So from this we find that k times x minus 1 square plus 3 is equal to L times x plus 1 square plus 5. Okay? Okay. So this is one relationship we have found. So if I try to, I'm just trying to see if I, okay, so Vasundhara, so far I could come here. Now what did you do after this one? So first remainder of 3 gave me this correlation, and second remainder gave me this correlation. So now what did you do after that? Okay, Vasundhara, I am looking for your guidance, okay? I am just trying to establish the next step here. Okay, so let me do this way. Okay, I'll probably look at it this way. Okay. Now, p of x is k times x minus 1 square plus 3, and p of x from the second remainder is L times x plus 1 square plus 5. If I am trying to divide here p of x with x minus 1 times x plus 1 in this case, it becomes k times x minus 1 squared by x minus 1 into x plus 1 plus this one and this by x squared minus 1. Okay. I think I am getting there. Okay. Fine. Now, in the second one, when I do this, p of x, when I divide that by x minus 1 times x plus 1, here, this became L times x plus 1 square divided by x plus 1 into x minus 1 plus 5 by x plus 1 into x minus 1. So this is equal to this. From this one I can see this guy and this guy gets knocked off. And from this one we see that this one and this one gets knocked off. So what I see is x minus 1 by x plus 1 times k plus 3 by x squared minus 1 is equal to L times x plus 1 by x minus 1 is equal to 5 plus 5 by x squared minus 1. I have come to this point. From this I am trying to find out how do I simplify it further, and I'll probably pause here, okay, because I am right now making it look a little bit complicated. What I will do is I will solve this offline and send it to you guys. Probably there is a shortcut, okay. See, the crux is this. We know this is the first remainder from this polynomial. This is the second remainder from this polynomial. When you are dividing by this is a remainder. When you are dividing by this is a remainder. And we have been asked to find out what is the remainder when I am dividing by these two. So the method that Sundara told me, I have come this far, but I'm actually thinking that there is a solution, there is a simpler solution that we can arrive at. Okay? This is a lengthier option. Let it be a challenge for all of you and your teacher as well. Okay? I will probably try solving it tonight, and by tomorrow morning I'll try sending it to you guys. Okay? That's that. There will be a faster approach, but it is more about how we are thinking around putting these two information together to get to a simpler solution. Okay? So wait for that solution to come from me. Okay? I'll send that to you guys. I'm probably taking a little longer than I would actually want to take. Okay? Vasundhara, did I miss something that you were explaining? Vasundhara is not trying to take the teacher head on. Okay, no. Okay, no, Vasundhara was here in the last class. She just dropped out probably. Anyways, for this, so let's summarize what we have discussed so far. So we just looked at polynomial remainder theorem one more time. We tried applying the polynomial remainder theorem for solving few problems, some word problems, and we came across an interesting problem where it took a little longer for us, and we kind of got caught into a very complex scenario. I will find out a simpler approach for solving this one and send it to you guys. So what this means is, I don't memorize the solution and come to the class. The questions are as new to me as it would be for you guys. So I will figure out a solution for this one, a faster solution, because I'm sure there is a faster solution for this one. Let me think through it for 15-20 minutes. I'll be able to get it. Okay. All right. And in the meantime, the 7 to 8 questions that I have sent in the WhatsApp group, I would want that to be an assignment for you guys for this week. Try doing it offline and see what are the problems where you are getting stuck. So that way we will have a common way for solving all the problems. So I'm not going to send you a separate assignment for this one, for this week. You will use the remaining 7 problems that we have in the WhatsApp group for polynomial remainder theorem, and that will be our assignment for this week. Alright? Everybody confused? Everybody stressed out? No? Okay. So with that being said, I'll let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll meet again in next class. Have fun.